everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with another design team project for Scrapping for Less. This time we're actually going to use a stamp set and a die set for this. They are by Lawn Fawn, and it's So Jelly and the Ocean Wave accents. So what I did, I've already pre-cut my panel, so I used a stitch rectangle from my stash, and then 3 different shades of blue cardstock. So you don't need to, do the distressing or anything else like that. You can just use cardstock. And then I pulled a wave die. It's actually like a scallop die from my stash. And if you flip it, you get the waves. So that's what I used there. So once they were cut out, you can see I placed the ocean accents. It does break apart throughout these 3 pieces. And when I layer them, I'm going to put the first layer directly down onto my design panel, and then the next one I'm going to prop that up with foam squares. And then again, the final layer, that's going to go straight down onto the second layer. So it just gives a little bit of dimension to the cards. If you've seen my previous videos, you know I love dimension. So and texture and all of that fun stuff. Now, there is a tip, of course, that I have, which, I usually do. You are cutting in, just like you would with a craft knife to cut, these sections into the waves. Make sure you, open them up a little bit, or else you're going to have to get, a craft pick or something sharp to open that up to put your piece in there. Yeah, You'll see why I say that in one moment. I'm going to use my VersaFine black ink for my sentiment. I did pull my sentiment from the So Jelly set, and it says, "You're a star." And I love the font when it comes to the Lawn Fawn stamp sets. It's scripty, but not too scripty, if that makes any sense. So for the outside, I'm going to stamp the starfish, and I'm going to stamp that 5 times. I'm using my black Memento ink for that because I am going to pull out my alcohol markers. You can see I'm using my Prismacolors. I do have the whole set. Those were the alcohol markers that I went with. I really like them. No, they are not refillable. So when they do go dry, I do have to get another one, but they are able to be purchased individually. So each starfish is going to be colored, of course, by a family group. So I'm looking at a rainbow color. You can see the numbers. If you do have the Prismacolor alcohol markers, I tried to keep the caps in the area of the colors that I was using. Of course, I did not do a great job, but trying. So I color probably a lot different than most. Sometimes in this case, I'm putting my lightest color down first, and then I'm coming in with my darker color, and then I'll go back over it with my lighter color. That's how I chose to color these. There's times where I'll put my darker color down first, and then I'll go over with my lighter color. It all depends. I really have no rhyme or reason when I do this. I just, these are very new to me, and I just keep trying to use them so that I can get out of that comfort zone. My comfort zone are colored pencils. So, we always got to keep on trying if we want. There are times where I want to stick with my colored pencils. But you can see I did leave the coloring in, of course. I just really sped it up. It looks like I'm really shaking everything going on here. But again, I'm just putting the darker color in the tipped area of the starfish. Again, just to give it some shadow, just to give it a little bit of form. That's why we do the shading that we do. It helps to make something round. It could help something to look more square. That's what the shading does. This is what I do with my alcohol markers. I actually take a piece of a piece of Neenah 80-pound paper, which is the paper that I use when I alcohol marker. I color it. I use a hand punch, and then I use a glue dot to put that on the end of my alcohol markers. I do that with all of them. So this way I can see the color. When it comes to the inside, I'm getting used to doing that a little bit more. I wanted to use the little jellyfish that came in the stamp set. So I stamped that using my shaded lilac Distress Oxide ink. That's the beauty of them. You can step with them. And also the sentiment, I'm so jelly, just on the inside towards the bottom. Again, I'm using the whole stamp. It's a different way to use it. And I'm putting something on the inside just in case you just don't even have time to fill something out in there. You can just sign your name. So I'm making sure that this is dry. Remember, your oxides are both pigment and dye. They do take a little bit longer to dry. So here I am with my pick, because I've just got to make sure, one, I didn't go through the top layer and create a hole because I'm using such the wrong tool. But now I'm able to place my pieces down into the slits that the ocean wave accents created. And I'm actually placing them in a rainbow order. So I'm starting with my pink, next one's orange, yellow, and the blue and green is kind of questionable which way I went with that. But that's kind of what I was looking at when I was gluing these in place. And I wasn't worried about putting any foam squares behind them, only because they are resting on the waves themselves. So a good portion of them are sitting there, so there's no need to make sure that they are propped up. I pulled out from my stash the dew droplets, and I'm just going to place some glue dots around, and then I'm going to set those in place. Now, the tool that I'm using here, it's called a wax pencil. You can just search for wax pencil if you're interested in this. It's used in the nail industry, and I think it works just fine to pick up these tiny little pieces that my fingers would never be able to pick up. Once I have those set, I'm then going to grab for my Spectrum Noir glitter pen, and I'm going to put that on my starfish just to give them some shimmer and shine. And plus it helps to make them stand out. Yes. And then I'm also going to add some accents in the waves of the ocean with my glitter pen, just to make that stand out as well with some shimmer. Could have added, if you have a white gel pen as well, you can do that. You could add some splatter, whatever it is you would like to do to accent your card. That is our card for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, this is a design team project for Scrapping for Less. All their links will be down below, including the links to this stamp set and this die. And what's really great is they're made into sets. So you'll get some papers, you'll get some embellishments, and there's 2 different sets. And again, they are linked below. So I encourage you to check them out. They are at a wonderful price. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. You don't want to miss any more videos that are coming out in the near future. If anybody has any questions or comments, please leave those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I do try to answer each and every comment and help everyone along the way. But what is most important, 1, we know how to speak, and 2, always be creative.